welcome back to another episode of Accessible Daily Living here on the Disability Channel. Please follow us on Roku Live, on digital TV. You can follow us on Facebook at our new Facebook page, Accessible Daily Living through the Disability Channel. Please follow us on Twitter at TD Channel 1. Today, I'm very happy to have a good friend and an individual I've known for quite a bit of time who will come back after our break and discuss everything about physiotherapy. We have Kyle Whaley of Propel Physiotherapy, who is a phenomenal individual and the person who's helping out individuals with disability, more so specifically to neurological conditions, anything from a spinal cord injury, head injury, dealing with diseases in regards to just individuals suffering from neurological deficits. So we're going to have Kyle back, but at this point in time, just folks, just to let you know about Accessible Daily Living. We're out there, we're doing work. We're going to be doing some work for a young kid, Adam. We'll be reporting from Adam's house in the coming months in terms of providing Adam a elevator, a accessible bathroom. This will be documented through a 4-part series here at the Disability Channel and Accessible Daily Living. So I want you guys to stay tuned. It's going to be an interesting, very, from my perspective, a very humble experience in order to help out a young gentleman who's desperately needs our help in order to give him a place where he can live with his family, enjoy the comforts of his home, and not feel like he is just stuck to one room, one area of his home. So folks, after this short break, we're going to be back with Kyle, and we're going to talk everything about physiotherapy, about accessibility, and what Kyle's doing for his patients and his clients and how he's benefiting them and their goal of progressing in rehabilitation and getting back to a level of independence. Folks, we'll be right back. Thank you.
When it comes to our health and our fitness, and then the word we use now is postural fitness, I think you need all the help you can get. Pro football trainers or doctors recommend this to my sons, and they're professional athletes, and I think it's good enough for them, then it's something I can try too. And I've been to physical therapists, and they recommend alignment. I've been introduced to neurobands, and it's not anything that limits what I do, but I know there's benefit there. I think it gives me comfort, but it gives me confidence as I'm trying to improve my posture. One of the things I've learned is what we call the postural fitness. That's kind of a starting point right there. Wearing the alignment is just to improve my life. Well, after years of football, I had a few injuries and I had some surgeries. You don't just bounce back from those things, so any help I can get along the way, I'm all for it. To be able to have a product that I'm just wearing, well, I feel like I'm wearing my workout. It makes me feel better. It's been helpful to me. I wear one when I work out. I wear one when I play golf. Certainly something that's recommended by doctors or physical therapists, if it's good enough for them, it sure ought to work for us. People riding on airplanes, behind computers, sitting behind a desk. This is for the common person out there that pays attention to their posture. You know, as we get older, we all have ailments. I think along the way, we can do things to make age stand still a little bit. So I just tried to put a real emphasis on my postural fitness.
Hello, I'm Lawrence with New Bandage Technology, and we're here with Brian.
Hi, my name is Brian Frost. I'm a physical therapist with core rehabilitation and sports medicine. And we're here with Sophia. Sophia's been using the New Bandage technology. Here she's a post-op ACL reconstruction about 3.5 to 4 weeks out from her surgery. And I've really seen the New Bandage has made a dramatic impact in its recovery time, allowing to accelerate her recovery speed and get her back into the exercises that are more functional for her, thereby allowing her to regain her muscle use and activation. The biggest thing that's done for her is that it's minimized the swelling post-operative and allowed her quad muscle to stay active so that we didn't have to spend the first 4 to 6 weeks of therapy reactivating the quad and stabilizing the knee. We've been able to do that in with just a few sessions, and it also gives her that compression that she needs so that she can move forward with these exercises. And that's exactly what you would want from a device like this.
Brian, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you.
I'd like to share with you today new and exciting technology in wound care and a revolutionary way for you to treat your patients. My name is Lawrence Rinke, inventor at New Bandage Technology. Let's take a closer look. New Bandage is a one-piece, mold-injected thermoplastic elastomer that holds sub-bandages and other medical devices in place without the use of tapes, adhesives, or fasteners. New Bandage is not absorbent. It's hand washable, it's sanitizable, it's fast, reliable, and easy to apply. New Bandage is an excellent strategy for burns, skin grafts, wound care, and perfect for our elderly and our children. There's no fasteners, no buckles, no tapes, no adhesives, there's no latex, there's no discomfort, and it's waterproof. Unlike traditional cloth bandages that trap body heat and perspiration, New Bandage allows for excellent airflow with easy access and visibility to the affected area. And it's perfect for patients who have vascular and sensitive skin issues.
We always recommend to use a non-adherent cotton dressing between the new bandage and the skin for additional comfort and moisture control. So easy to apply. New Bandage is a padded bandage system. Clean and dress affected area. Hold new bandage vertically and open the top end with both hands. Roll the bandage up, creating a donut shape. Stretch the bandage from the center and place over affected area. Roll the bandage over the dressing. Adjust the bandage so the air holes are equal in size and shape. Ensure that new bandage is centered over the affected area. New Bandage, the ideal choice.
I invite you to visit us at our website at newbandage.com.
Hey folks, welcome. Here we have today, I'm very happy to have my friend, and he will be yours after this episode, Kyle Whaley, owner, operator of Propel Physiotherapy in the, I'm going to say the Toronto area. Is that right, Kyle?
That's right, John.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
For having me.
No, not about my pleasure. So just give a brief little understanding of mine and Kyle's relationship. Kyle actually did his last residency placement at St. Michael's Hospital back in the day when John was doing physiotherapy in the neurotrauma orthopedics department at St. Michael's Hospital, and Kyle was a student from U of T.
It was, John. Yeah.
U of T, and we have a really good. We touched base about 3 years ago, got reconnected, and it's so great to have Kyle on board here and to discuss, because he's doing a ton of great things. I was actually had the pleasure of going to his clinic, his launch open house of his new clinic at let's see here, 1 Eva Road, Suite 107 in Toronto. That's the 427 and Birmingham Thorpe area. Kyle, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right, John.
Awesome. So Kyle, welcome. I want everybody to know about you and who you are. So again, I talked briefly about how we know each other, where you started. What got you involved in physiotherapy? Is it something in particular? What got you to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to school, I'm going to become a physiotherapist? What brought you there?
I think it was as a young guy, I played a lot of sport and had a handful of injuries. And I had some great experience with physiotherapists. And that originally piqued my interest, and I thought that's something I'd like to do. And I think a lot of, and I applied for years. It was a pretty tough program to get into. And I eventually got in, and a lot of physiotherapy, like a lot of my colleagues and classmates, the sport aspect or orthopedic aspect was pretty high on our list of what to do. But I had a placement in spinal cord rehab at the Lyndhurst Center while I was training, shortly before I met you at St. Mike's. And it was just a great experience, and that led me down the neurological path, so to speak.
Yeah. So for those out there, Lyndhurst Hospital is a center. It's tied to Toronto Rehab Institute. Is that correct, Kyle?
That's right. It's the University Health Network now, but at the time it was Toronto Rehab.
So this is a center where they specifically help rehabilitate individuals who have suffered a spinal cord injury, whether it be from a paraplegic or quadriplegic, whether it be 2-limb, 3-limb, 4-limb affected as a result of a traumatic experience, whether it be that work-related, any other type of experience, be motor vehicle accidents specifically. So it's a great center. We at Accessible Day Living help a ton of clients in that from the center in terms of returning home and making their homes accessible from everything from ramps to elevators and so on and so forth. So going on for that, I understand from from the perspective, coming out to the clinic, and what a clinic, folks. I'm going to tell you, I felt like I was stepping into a spa when I went in there. So welcoming, the staff so friendly and knowledgeable, and just asking questions. It was great for me. My background is in the physiotherapy area as well, and it's crazy that you bring it up to Kyle. Is that's what drove me to the whole ends of rehabilitation was injuries, playing sports, and having that connection with therapists throughout my years as playing soccer, volleyball, cross country, track. Those were the things that would send me out. Obviously, going there, hot packs, and you're much more than heat pads and hot packs and cold packs and whirlpools, but the ultrasound machines, the TENS machines, and all. These are a lot of terms and devices and mobility products that me and Kyle are familiar with. I won't bore you in more with that, but you guys are dealing mainly with clients who have sustained or dealing with a neurological impairment and diseases. Give me, I guess, a range of what type of diagnoses and individuals are you helping from the neuro world?
It's a good question. We really do the full gamut from spinal cord injury to brain injury, stroke, more obscure neurological conditions like autoimmune stuff, Guillain-Barré, transverse myelitis, essentially anything that affects your brain and spinal cord. We treat Parkinson's, kind of peripheral nerve injuries. We also do regular orthopedic, your joints, shoulders, back, and we've got some other specialty areas. But I would say neurological is we've carved out a bit of a niche in that market.
Okay, that's awesome. So you're located in the Toronto area. Do you service just the Toronto area? Are you looking to branch out, or are you providing any other services just in the GTA at this point in time?
So our clinic is at the 427 in Burnham Thorpe, and we do service clients there. We also provide all of our services on in the community, so community based. I have a physiotherapist currently who's has a lot of experience in neurological injuries, and she is out of Hamilton. So she covers from Hamilton to kind of Oakville. I have another physiotherapist that's based out of Aurora, and she covers from Aurora down. So we can cover a good chunk of the GTA from a community-based perspective.
Oh, that's awesome. So now I know you help with it. So you also work in the insurance industry as well, like from a motor vehicle accident perspective. Kind of take me through the process. You obviously you do assessments with the treatment to determine what the needs are as well, or is that something that you outsource? How do you determine it so that the insurers or anybody for that sort knows exactly what the clients need from a rehabilitation perspective?
That's a good question. So if you're involved in a motor vehicle accident, it's changed recently, but you're usually classified in three kind of streams. It's a minor injury guideline, which is usually a sprain, a strain, or a whiplash. You can be a non-catastrophic, which is more significant injuries, and then the most significant would be what we call catastrophic. And it used to be a bit more cut and dried. It was a brain injury, a spinal cord injury, or an amputation. And there's been some legislation changes in June, so that's a bit different. I won't go into the details there, but if you do have an injury, you come in either by way of, most of the time it's by way of a referral. So from a client, from a friend, from an occupational therapist or an occupational therapy company, from case management if it's a catastrophic injury, and they ask us to do a full assessment and do a treatment plan based on those needs. And the treatment plan could cover anything from clinic-based physiotherapy exercise therapy. We do hydrotherapy. There could be vestibular or balance involvement after a motor vehicle accident. And that's essentially it. So we submit that treatment plan to the insurance companies, and the insurance companies say yes or no on whether we can implement that treatment.
Okay, great. So now, just in terms of your clinic, in terms of what types of equipment do you have? That are there specific equipment specifically to the need of the neural community, the individuals with diseases? What is out there that can best support them? I want the viewers out there to understand that there's a special interest here from Kyle and his clinic in order to support individuals with neurological deficits, and it's important for us, Kyle, to obviously give them the information that is out there, or that you have, or equipment that's out there that will benefit them. Is there anything in particular that stands out for you that you say when you use this for a client specifically, whether it be a spinal cord injury or someone with MS or any other type of neurological disease, that has come out and really helped you in the progression of their rehab?
It's a good question, John. So, I mean, starting with the environment, the clinic itself we're in 4,500 square feet, so it's probably larger than an average sport clinic or physiotherapy clinic or orthopedic clinic. The doorways are quite wide, and our treatment tables tend to be larger. Most of them are 4 feet by 8 feet, and they go up and down as opposed to fixed height, which some of them do. Some of our equipment is adapted to allow you to move a wheelchair into and transfer onto it quite easily. A good chunk of the difference is in the approach, really. And our approach is a tailored treatment that's one-on-one. And I don't want to there's some great clinics out there. It's just a different type of injury. And if you've had a brain or spinal cord injury, a kind of 15-minute 20 treatment from the physiotherapist is not ideal. So our treatment approach is a lot of our neurological injuries we're going to see for an hour and a half. And there's a lot of preparation that goes on to that. And we're very hands-on as well. So our therapists have different levels of training in manual therapy and normal movement therapy, bow bath, NDT. And that really that type of approach is what that kind of client needs. We're in the process also of getting a couple of pieces of capital equipment that are going to be effective, like it's a body weight support system. There's one in particular we're about to get in, and that allows you to unweight the body, and you can walk over ground or over a treadmill without having to take the full weight of your body. And that can be effective in rehab after a brain injury, a spinal cord injury, or a stroke.
Well, and you talk about your staff and the people that work with you. How many do you have working with you right now?
There's 20 of us now.
Wow, that's a huge team.
Yeah.
So obviously the need is there in order for you to support. Obviously 20 individuals have that size of rehabilitation staff. And folks, I want to let you know that's not very common for a facility. Working in you could have anywhere from 5 to 10 to have 20 individuals working, and the size of the space that Kyle, obviously at Propel Physiotherapy, has told us and speaking to us about today, 4,500 square feet. It's a good size area that really will allow you. And I've seen the space. The space is quite open and quite engaging. So Kyle, are there just physiotherapists? Do you have any other professions that are internal over there at Propel?
We do. We've got physiotherapists. We have kinesiologists. We have exercise physiologists. We have registered massage therapists. We have a pelvic floor physiotherapist. We have vestibular therapists, and we have a full support staff of office management, a clinic manager, and a couple of front desk reception.
Awesome. So, with all this, you're a pretty busy man. I understand that your wife works with you as well. She's a physiotherapist as well.
She is, yeah. Her name's Kathy Molesky, and she's her niche is neurological injuries as well.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so. Just to let the folks know too, I actually even did the placement with Kyle's wife at St. Michael's Hospital. Quite a small world, and it was obviously really good at the open house when I saw them both that I had no clue that they were married. And they had no clue that I did placement with both of them at St. Michael's when they were going through their studies. And she was at UFT as well.
She was, yeah.
At UFT. So it's honestly, it was a good little surprise and obviously an opportunity to catch up with both of them and even here today. So Kyle, what's next for Propel? Is there anything in the future that you're, in the near future you're working towards to obviously increase your footprint as foremost authority in rehabilitation for physiotherapy? Is there anything you're working?
Yeah, I think what we're doing is we moved into the new space about 4 or 5 months ago, and we had our launch 6-7 weeks ago. And what we're really trying to do is get things up and running and tailor our services to our current clientele and potentially new clientele. We've got some new programs coming on. We've recently introduced yoga. We have a physiotherapist, Jennifer Neerinks, has a special interest in yoga, and she's providing yoga a couple of times a week, and it can be group-based or individual. We have a mindfulness, one of our physiotherapists, Kathy Molesky, also does mindfulness, which is good for chronic pain and stress that a lot of our clients have. And we're hoping to get some more group-based treatments going. So some vestibular balance classes, falls prevention. We've got an osteoporosis class that we're thinking of coming up, and then hopefully expanding in the future. So we have a really good time. I think we provide a good service, and we really enjoy it. And we're looking to branch out with clinic areas in a couple of different areas.
Okay, so obviously talking about all these therapists and what they're doing, and just obviously bringing in other aspects into the whole realm and world of rehabilitation. Do you guys deal with this, like we're dealing in the neural field, do you guys deal with that population from a pediatric to geriatric or middle age, or are you guys specific to a particular age group or population of the individual?
That's a great question, John. What we do is we see on the top in the geriatric, we'll see is we don't really have a limit. On the lower end, the pediatric cases, we usually, depending on what we can handle, kind of 8 to 10 years old is around our cutoff. And below that, if we feel like it's something that requires more specialized care, we refer it on, and we have a network of excellent community therapists that we refer to, the Pediatric Physiotherapy Network.
Yeah, and for those aspiring physiotherapists out there, do you guys offer any type of placement opportunities or residencies so that an individual, just like we talked about when you were at St. Mike's with me and have you, do you guys offer that opportunity for others and come and get on from a volunteer perspective if they have to, or obviously through a placement through the school?
We do. We're affiliated with the University of Toronto. We currently have a second-year master's physiotherapy student from U of T. We always take students. We also work with Guelph Humber, which has a kinesiology program. And we get out of catchment students from Queen's University physiotherapy program and McMaster every now and then. Yeah, I think part of certainly giving back, we recognize all the great placement we had, and we were all students at one point, and we make an extra effort to go and accept students. And on a volunteer basis, our door's always open. If you want to give a phone call and you want to learn more about neurological injuries, come in and you can sit in and see what we do.
Great. For those people, for those out there who just tuned in, remember this: we have Kyle Willey here at Propel Physiotherapy. So if you want, you can contact Kyle at Propel at propelphysiotherapy.com or www.propelphysiotherapy.com or 416-621-2506. If you have the interest in being involved, if you require the services of someone like Kyle or his group, I mean, I can't believe the vast amount of knowledge and experience that's incorporated in this role. It's a vast space with a vast knowledge and expertise of individuals with that. Kyle, so just going back on terms of, this is where I wanted the interlink between Propel and ADL, accessible daily living. Folks, you have to understand, individuals who have suffered or sustained and survived, I'm going to have to say, an injury, a neurological injury, or dealing with a neurological disease. When you have part and parcel of what I do is also there to support what Kyle does and vice versa. Providing an environment where a person can excel and feel safe will allow Kyle also to get that person into his clinic safe and not worry about what Mr. and Mrs. Smith, pardon expression or the name, is doing at home. So a lot of the times what a physiotherapist is, it will obviously ask, what is the home environment like? How many steps do you have to navigate in order to get upstairs? What does home look like? Do you have rugs? Do you have area carpets? What does your kitchen environment look like? And part and parcel is, from a physiotherapy perspective, they deal a lot with gross motor and your ability to have the tolerance and the endurance to obviously, go and navigate through your home. Their opportunity is there to have you in there, start rehabilitating you, giving you obviously, give you a plan of action in order to keep you from hurting yourself versus harm. Obviously playing it safe and making sure that what you're doing is your energy conservation, all these things. Kyle, from your perspective, how important is it for you and your staff to know that the individual on the home environment is safe, so that obviously, or you're giving them the opportunity to build in an understanding of how to keep safe in the home? What does it mean to you guys?
Well, I think our area of expertise, John, comes into play with mobility, really. And I give an example of a client's discharge from spinal rehab. If it was Lyndhurst, and they've come and seen us in the community, and they're working on their goals, their mobility goals, strength, their function, their movement in the community, and eventually it comes to their home space. And a company like yours, ADL, we work close with. On a consultation basis, giving our input on what their mobility is and how that might affect their access to their environment. And we would work closely, obviously, with an occupational therapist when they're doing their home assessment, and provide our input really on the appropriateness of certain things as it relates to their mobility. And then certainly home gyms is a pretty common thing that we try and help set up. If clients are going to be in their home and there's funding for it, and physical activity is going to be an important part of the rest of their life, giving input on a space like that.
Oh, absolutely. So let the viewers in. Kyle hit on something that's very, very, very important. Yes, he has a clinic. Yes, he has a space where he is obviously providing a rehab. In any event, you have a client who has suffered or sustained or survived a neurological, a traumatic experience, or obviously has a disease. We live in this beautiful country of ours that experiences, inclement weather for about 4 to 5 months, and the ability to lose the opportunity to get valued treatment could be detrimental to the progression of rehab. So to have a home gym where they're able to continue, even if they can't get to the clinic, is imperative. A small gym, something so that they can maintain themselves, and a quick call to Kyle and his team, and obviously to give you exactly what you need to do at home, and they can do. You provide, obviously, Kyle, in the event that happens, that someone has mobility issues and what have you. Do you offer them like a home kit so that they don't have to come to the clinic in the event that there's snow, sleet, rain, or you just don't have a ride at that time?
We do, yeah. We can come in and set up a full, certainly consult and help you set up a full gym, tailored to your needs. And then the program, we have our physiotherapists and our kinesiologists and exercise physiologists, which is really their specialty, is going in and setting up the program based on and tailored to your needs to help you achieve your goals.
That's awesome. So guys, just to let you know, Kyle touch base too on the occupational therapist. So us at Accessible Daily Living, we are not the functional gurus. We are not the gurus of endurance, tolerance, physical ability, and gross motor skills as that of a physiotherapist, and that of the functional understanding of an occupational therapist. We rely on individuals, experts, professionals such as Kyle and other occupational therapists that we work with in order to get the snapshot, the understanding of what they can and can't do. At that time, we can make the recommendations required in order to make that home safe, accessible, and usable. And when I say usable, we use the term, ADL, ideally named. It stands for Activities of Daily Living. Kyle and his team are responsible and support the client in achieving the regular activities of daily living. And getting back to as a normalcy as much as what we consider normal, Kyle. And that word normal really isn't used in rehabilitation these days, but what is normal to the client? So this is what Kyle and his group does as well in order to support us. So from that perspective, Kyle, look, I appreciate you coming on the show today. Thank you for all the information. Guys, if you want to find Kyle, again, Propel Physiotherapy at 1 Eva Road, Suite 107, Toronto, Ontario. Reach Kyle at propelphysiotherapy.com. Website, www.propelphysiotherapy.com. Phone number, 416-621-2506. Kyle, thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate your time today on the show.
Thanks for having me, John.
Guys, we'll be right back after a short break, and we'll just wrap it up after that. Thank you.
Having my grandkids over is the highlight of my day. But it isn't all hugs and cookies. I also get to help raise them and teach good habits. I call it Grandma's Training Program. Whether it's safety in the backyard, no, or staying clean,
don't forget to use soap,
or monitoring video game use. And I don't just mean limiting the amount they play. We all spend more and more time on these little devices, and it can be really bad on our spine. Not long ago, I had neck surgery, and it was during my physical therapy that another patient introduced me to the ab collar. I used the ab collar during my recovery to remind me to have good posture during my daily exercises. And now it's an important part of Grandma's Training Program. The ab collar is lightweight, portable, and easy to put on. But best of all, it serves as a great training tool to teach the boys how they're supposed to sit while playing their video games. And now I hardly ever have to remind them at all. I want to help my grandsons grow up healthy and strong and make good decisions. And the ab collar is helping me do that.
Life has a way of throwing you curveballs. Sometimes you're lucky enough to see it coming. Other times it just hauls off and hits you in the face without warning. When my second child was born and turned out to be special needs, that was a curveball that neither my first wife nor I saw coming. However, it's not the fact that life saw fit to hit us with this challenge that matters. It's the daily struggle to adapt and overcome that makes us who we are. Being both a blended family and one with a special needs child definitely makes some days a real challenge to navigate successfully. It takes a full measure of teamwork from everyone involved to make the family work. Most days, we don't have it all together, but together, we have it all.
I think it's important to be a part of an organization that also will support you in your education as well as in the community.
OPSWA advocate helping PSW. They also help voice out the voice of the PSW to be heard all over Canada.
Now they're talking about different things that can help us PSWs, like autism and Asperger's. This is new education that we need, that we don't get in school as a PSW.
The conference is helping me today by teaching me about all the other programs offered to PSWs and through OPSWA that I had no idea about before, and all the other programs that I could specialize in or that could help me in my field after this.
My name is Miranda Ferrier, and I'm the president of the Ontario Personal Support Worker Association, and we want to invite you to come out to our conference. At our conference, we celebrate personal support workers, and we understand how important you are to the healthcare field. So come out and join us. You're going to have a great time.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the show. It was great having Kyle on our show. Just an abundance of information. Really, from my perspective, he's a great friend. It was phenomenal for me to touch base with Kyle 3 years ago and reconnect and rekindle the relationship, friendship, and the professional respect we have for both for each other. Kyle, him and his team have an absolutely amazing understanding on the fundamentals and support required for individuals who require it. Like you said, there's a love for neurological and supporting people with neurological conditions, impairments, diseases. But Kyle and his group, they do everything. I mean, from my perspective, with a child with a disability and being able to support my child with her neurological, that understanding was there from being involved and working in an environment such as St. Michael's Hospital and being able to do so. So to have that for me, and knowing how important that is to my child, is very, very important. So the tie-in between us and Propel Physiotherapy is very integral in order to providing you guys essentially what you need, the ability to live. And that's what we all want, is want to live our lives, be able to engage our communities, engage our social environments, engage our homes, feel safe, feel secure in what we do. And it's people like Kyle and his group that allow us to continue and do our work with ADL and with Drive Lab and so on and so forth. So guys, follow us on Roku. We're on the disabilitychannel.ca, at Twitter, at TDC Channel 1, and contact us at www.accessibledailyliving.com, at info@accessibledailyliving.com, at living.ADL. Follow us, guys. We're gonna be doing some great things. We're gonna be with Comcast, so look for us on Comcast in the United States as well. So, guys, thank you very much, and we're getting closer to the holiday season. Be safe, be merry, be happy with each other. No angry lines when you're buying your gifts for your loved ones. Take care, guys. Have a great one.